A very warm welcome to all our participants. I hope you and your family are all safe and sound. Thank you so much for joining in today. Well, it's a lovely monsoon afternoon and we are all set to begin with our today's webinar. One of the hardest lessons in life is letting go, whether it is guilt, anger, love, loss, or betrayal. Change is never easy. We fight to hold on and we fight to let go. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid and lacks the ability. There is a purpose for everyone you meet. Some people come into your life to test you, some to teach you, some to use you, and some to bring out the very best in you. Our today's speaker will share her life learnings and experiences with us on how one can live a happy and a successful life. HR Association of India welcomes you all to the 2021 Dialogue Masterclass series on the topic Romancing Life. To know more about HRAI and its event, I would request all our participants to visit the link and details posted in the chat window. I request all our participants to kindly follow the webinar guidelines mentioned in the chat window. It would be great to have all the participants' feedback. We'll be running a poll. Request all the participants to kindly share your feedback on the same. I now take the privilege to introduce our master for today, Dr. Soumya Badyan, VP, Corporate Strategy, HR and IR, Gold Star Jewelries Private Limited. She comes with a 20-year plus experience into the corporate field as well as into sales, marketing, corporate strategy, and HR, with complete knowledge about all the segments of the various markets in the field of luxury products, jewelry sales, human behavior, and their countless interplays and ramifications. She has been leading the human resource strategist function for employee business unit, including training and onboarding, performance management, retention and development, and benefits. She also acts as a strategic business partner to general and upper management while limiting legal risk exposure through strong knowledge of employment laws. Dr. Soumya is an MBA with dual specialization into marketing and international trade with postgraduate diploma in gold medalist, and she recently completed her PhD in analysis of function, efficiency, and profitability of a particular e-commerce from Rajasthan University. You can follow her on LinkedIn. The link for the same has been shared in the chat window. Without taking much time, I now hand over the platform to Dr. Soumya. Over to you, Doc.
Thank you, Peterson. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. So without much ado, I would also like to go right back at the topic, romancing life. When we talk about romance and when we talk about life, romance creates a little flutters and butterflies in our stomach, in our hearts. So can any of you tell me what romance to you is exactly? It's all right, you can unmute yourself and say, or you can use the chat window. So can anyone of you tell me what romance is to you? Come on, let's not be shy here. We're discussing life. If you hold on so much, then we cannot discuss. Oh, we cannot unmute is what they're saying, Peterson. So if you can write there on the chat window, I can read it. So if you can just put it there on the chat window. Anyone? Loving life more. I love that, Ananya. Loving life more. Falling in love with life. Amazing. To me, romancing life means being fully in love with life. Yes, Monica. Yes, that's what it is. What else? What else? Has anyone fallen in love? I don't want any creepy crawly creatures coming out of the bag, but yes. Oh, yes. Awesome. Awesome. AR, there's someone by the name of AR who says, and it's a wonderful thought, man, romance would be distributing love in the world. Amazing, amazing thoughts here. So what we are, beautiful thoughts, and thank you all so much for sharing that on the chat window. So what we actually are discussing here is that how to live life fullest. We always say romance is beautiful. It's a fleeting feeling. You know, someone is saying that, you know, it is falling in love with life. We've always learned to fall in love. We also must learn to rise in love. Cliched, but yes, true. So taking a cue from here, rising in love, I would like to share with you a story. This story is very close to my heart. This story is someone that I know of. In the end, I will reveal. So I guess Peterson, me, and a couple of people around there know this person, but yes, I'm still putting forth the story to you. The story starts in the year 2000. The person completed the MBA, bright student, got married, came down from a small town to Mumbai, the city of dreams. The husband was a chartered accountant, placed very well in life, in a beautiful setting, the only son. She always wanted to be with the in-laws, this girl that I know of. And she got a perfect, perfect family. In the year 2003, they were blessed with a wonderful child, a girl child. They always prayed for the girl child. When all this was happening, the girl child was just, the baby girl was just 6 months old. Bam, the first jolt that God put us or put them into test. The husband, who was just 29 years old then, was diagnosed with colon cancer. Everyone started crying because we know the prognosis. We know what cancer does. Everyone was shattered. She was the only child of her parents, and he was the only son of his parents. It was like God was planning a doomsday conspiracy on them. Was God so cruel? They said, well, if this was the will of the God, we will stand back and we will fight. They couldn't celebrate the first birthday of their daughter. It coincided with the last chemotherapy of the husband. They did, you know, with a lot of resolve, they said, we will sail through, we will fight through. They fought, they bounced back. Life was beautiful, life was happening, life was happy again. Life was full of malls, movies, magic. Everything started coming back together again. They started thanking God. Whatever was supposed to be done was done. Life went on. Promotions happening, careers happening, child growing, and everything was smooth sail. In 2008, the husband was diagnosed with TB. It so happened that the husband used to travel from A to B destination. In the Borivali station, he collapsed. We had people bringing him back to the house. And then at that point of time, the girl realized that there's something not right. The oncologist was a relative and a very highly placed man. He's a Padma Bhushan. We took the husband to that oncologist, who also happens to be the relative. He sees them and says, let me do a biopsy of the cyst. There was a gland right here. When they did the biopsy, the doctor comes out and tells the wife, thank God, it is TB. I would say the maximum amount of prayers that could have been sent out and the maximum amount of love that could have been sent out was done at that moment. Again, everyone was happy, you know, the husband, who was so scared as to what the reports would hold, came back. life came back again. They were all ready to embrace life one more time and say, we've conquered cancer. This is just TV. We will tide through. Back again, back to work. Life went on. We were more comfortable with more earnings. Foreign trips started happening, and we could see them flourishing. We could see the happiness in the house. In the year 2012, they always used to take one family trip to Kerala. That's where the husband developed acute pain in the abdominal region. He looks at his wife and he says, I guess it's back. The wife just negates it. Always you have all these, dark thoughts in you. Just rubbish it off. Come on, let's go. We have a Kathakali performance waiting for us. What are you doing? That's a backwater. I want to have a romantic outing with you. And he's clenching his abdomen saying, darling, I want to. But at this moment, could you get me the doctor? Because they were staying in a 5-star, the doctor was arranged like that. They were told to go back to Mumbai, come back here, see their doctor once again, because the doctor in Kerala suspected something. They came back here. The New Year's was celebrated. This happened somewhere close to the New Year's. The New Year's was celebrated at home with a lot of painkillers. The pain subsided. They thought it was just maybe a gastric pain or something like that. Nothing more than that. And then on 7th of January, which happens to be the birthday also of the brother of the wife, they get a call from the hospital and it said, stage 3 CA, which means stage 3 cancer. He was rushed to the operation theater. 240 stitches across were done. The cancer was taken out, and usually whatever is taken out of the body is shown to the relatives. The whole mass, I think 6 feet of the intestine was removed and shown to the wife. And she looks at it, goes back to the husband like a warrior and says, you know what, it's out. All that was stuck in your stomach and was causing you so much of pain is out of your life. The husband is very happy. Rounds of chemo start again. May comes, May of 2013. They go to the doctor. The doctor says, you know what, I don't think this is one of the most unfortunate thing that has happened to you, but go eat burgers, pizzas, you all are out of it. Man, they had a rocking party that day. Amazing party. We called everyone, whoever could get on the phone. Everyone was in the house, things were doing very well, and life went on again. September, the Ganpati time, again, the pain came back. The stomach was bloated. That's the onset of ascites. If anyone knows, ascites means a fluid which gets trapped inside the abdominal region. And accumulation of fluid there is not good because it cannot be taken out. It had to be, there has to be a needle that needs to be inserted and then it is pumped out. Throughout this whole time, this couple had no one else to come and hold their hand except the organizations that they were working for. The parents were too old and too broken with this constant challenges being thrown at their children. The father of the son refused to visit him in the hospital. He said, I can't see him anymore in any of the pains. So we approached the doctor, the oncologist who was treating, and he says, "Main talwar leke Bhagwan se ladun kya?" The wife takes a resolve. Well, if not you, doc, I will. And with me, he will. We did another surgery in 2013, September. And when they opened the patient up, when they opened the husband up, They closed him back immediately. The operation, which was supposed to be of 6 hours, was over in an hour. We thought, wow, things really worked so quick. Is the cancer out? The junior doctor comes, walks up to the wife, and believe me, all the news that was broken was always broken to the wife. Walks up to the wife and says, we can't do anything. पूरे पेट में पत्थर हो गए हैं. There were so many nodes and nodules that they didn't know which one to cut, what to do. So as a last resort, what they did was they put an RT, which is a Ryle's tube, inside from the nose so that whatever fluid was getting accumulated in the stomach could be pumped out. It was done. We rocked it. In 2014, 10th of March, the husband took a promise, get my wife settled again. And he closed his eye forever. That was the time when the girl was also, the wife was traveling. थोड़ा ज़्यादा heavy हो गया ना? So what do you think, what do you make out of this story? It's a real life thing that has happened. What do you make out of this story? Anyone? Bolie, come on, let's see what you can make out from this story. Thank you, Monica. Yes, it's my story. Yes, Ashutosh, the woman is a warrior. So what happens is that it is within all of us, that resolve, that resilience, that tendency to bounce back. We always and always put our happiness and our hopes on someone else or something else or on some place. वहां जाऊंगी ना तो खुश हो जाऊंगी. You know, अभी तो zen है. जिस दिन BMW आएगी ना उस दिन खुश होंगे. आज एक फ्लैट है, एक दिन बंगलो होगा तब खुश होंगे, वो भी गोवा में, you know, on the river front. अगर मुंबई में चाहिए ना तो एक आलिशान फ्लैट होना चाहिए which is overlooking the sea. And the whole life we go on slogging and slogging and slogging. Yes, human wants never will end, Peterson. You were so right there. But we need to understand the difference between the need, desires, and wants. We usually confuse that. We absolutely confuse that this is what I desire, this is what I want, but is that what you need? Correct? So the first thing that I learned was to accept it. Yes, there is a cancer, there is a problem. There is also a problem attached to this problem, which is, I've got a small baby. She's got a whole career ahead, a whole school to look to. She was just 9 when her father passed away. I had to make myself strong enough so that the childhood is not robbed off from my child. I had seen many, many young kids transitioning into young adults too quick without enjoying that because there was a tragedy that has happened in their house. I didn't want that. So first, I accepted it. Second, I acknowledged it. Yes, I acknowledged it. Yes, Monica, it is like to surrender. So when I acknowledged it, it gave me the power to advance. So 3 words: accept, acknowledge, and advance. It just puts a blueprint before you that you need to move from here to there, to there, to there. Correct? In life or with romance, it always requires a muse to romance. What we do with life is that we make it, you know, instead of creating the magical, mystical thing about life, we create a complicated, confused, and a claustrophobic environment for ourselves. We never want to do what we wish to do. We're living a life that someone else has created for us, and we're just the tick marks. Like I used to call myself, I'm the bucket list of my mom's aspirations. You know, she wanted कि उनकी बेटी doctor बने. मैंने बोला, Mom, now I'm a PhD doctor, लिख लिया मैंने. उसके आगे कुछ. You know, so this is how things happened. And all this acceptance, acknowledgement, and advancement can happen only if you are genuine within. You know? Now, the genuinity also comes when your thoughts, your speech, and your feelings are all aligned. In life, if you really want to love life, just take away all that is fake. And when I say fake, I mean even people who are trying to impress you. Take away those titles from your name and see if people would still love. People would still want to approach you. People would still like to send you that LinkedIn request. I think the most number of LinkedIn requests come to us because of the designations we hold and not because of what we can give back. See how simple it is. So have the line of love drawn. You think, you speak, and you feel the same way. Be very, very true. Be very true. And you need to have that one friend in your life who can say, बिल्कुल ठीक नहीं था, एकदम घटिया बोला तुमने, get your act straight. You need one friend who can always keep you grounded. That can be anyone, anyone. Learn to differentiate between happiness and bliss. I'll tell you what happiness and bliss is. A lot of us are confused about, like I said, happiness is always pegged to things, to people, to places, to positions. आज ये मिल गया तो ये कर लूंगी, वो मिल गया तो वो कर लूंगी, ऐसा हो गया तो ऐसा कर लूंगी या कर लूंगा. But वो हो जाने के बाद क्या? I remember the time when I used to have a small car, and then I was gifted a big car, and then I was like, thank you very much, God. Thank you that I got a gift of a good car. But when you sat in the car, the traffic time was still the same. The maddening traffic was still the same. From point A to point B, you're still taking the same time, and you're still sitting. So what was the difference? No difference. Comfort? I think, Nandan, comfort is also a very, very self-associated thing. You can make me sit on a bench and I would find it very comfortable because I am at peace with myself, vis-a-vis if you give me a nice cushiony pillow and ask them. Yes, short-term goal. So it was a short-term goal. I get you, Nandan. I get you now what you're saying. Yes, it was a very short-term goal. Oh, more time since the car is bigger. I like that, Monica. Chintan, satisfaction. For me personally, Chintan, it was not satisfaction. It was just something like, I saw the change in the people's perspective towards me. I'm the same Soumya, whether I get out from a Celerio or whether I get out from an Audi. But the perception of people changed. If you see all the big cars on the road, they rarely have a dent on them. Have you ever noticed that? It's because कोई बड़ा आदमी अंदर होगा. पंगे नहीं लेना इससे. और छोटी गाड़ी हो गई तो everyone comes and bashes. That means what? It means that the projection of what you are. You project yourself as a powerful individual. And now, powerful individual does not mean an arrogant individual. We need to be very clear with that. In life, the moment arrogance, pride, all these things come around, we start to crumble down, because you never are able to create your own tribe. It's very important to have a tribe who comes back and supports you in your crisis. We also have seen that happiness is a very short-lived phenomenon. Okay, I am hungry. I need food. What kind of food? Chalo, I need fast food because I'm hungry. Fair enough. I'm craving for pizzas, and you get that. Fair enough. And then what? After the pizza, you back to your same mental state. Some of us have a habit of having chocolates because it alleviates a lot of turmoil within. Someone can also have booze, but what after it wanes off? Yes, Nandan, they are all emotions. So, coming back to what Nandan has said here, harnessing of emotions in a positive way. Now, harnessing of emotion is always confused with, I shouldn't cry. To cry is not man enough. Why? Emotions cannot be slotted into a gender. Emotions are fluid. Correct? So you need to have those emotions because they make a person complete. When I was talking to Peterson about work from home scenarios and how it is not working for manufacturing, and we were discussing some points, that also brought us to a point wherein a lot of fusion is happening, wherein an encroachment of office space to your home and your home into your office. That is creating, हमने जितनी भी बातें की थी, जितने भी कंसल्टेंसी फर्म्स ने, बड़े बड़े कंसल्टेंसी फर्म ने निकाला था एक बहुत खूबसूरत सा शब्द, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस. Everything went up in the air, even in those organizations who came up with these beautiful thoughts. Because you're sitting long hours. You enter into a dialogue with your subordinate. A confrontation happens, or a discussion happens, or probably a heated argument may also happen. And suddenly the wife pops in and ऐसा बात करते तुम्हारा boss, resign कर दो. है ना? Because we don't know how to harness the emotions. There are people that you may meet, they may fall under the certain personality types, the narcissist types, the sociopath types, the psychopath types. The narcissist types will always go on gaslighting you. I was a victim of gaslighting. I didn't even know. All right, but it happens. And the moment you realize that you are being gaslighted, what do? You never confront the person. You just try and move away with a firm conviction and a firm belief that there is your story, there is my story, and then there is the truth. As long as you are hooked to the truth, life will be very balanced. The truth is what you know. The third very important pillar is the morality, values, and ethics. Okay, we're too quick to judge. I'm now getting into something which is controversial. Something like an extramarital affair. We judge, oh, the woman is like this. Oh, she's a homebreaker. Oh, the man, he's into so many girls. He's not the first and she won't be the last. We're too quick to judge. We don't know where they're coming from. If someone is divorced, we're too quick to put, our judgments on this. शादी तो संभाल नहीं पाया या पाई, जॉब क्या संभालेंगे? How does that make any difference? Correct? So what happens is that we need to understand. If there is an extramarital affair, until there is a sociopath in picture, 99% of time, because I'm also part of the counseling sessions, there is always a fracture in the existing relationship for the third entity to make its way. It's no one's, it is no one to judge or to be judged that this happened because of him or her. The correction needs to happen in the fracture. That's why there is a beautiful thing that is going around on WhatsApp wherein they say that Japanese, they put melted gold, when they try to reassemble a piece, because that fracture is a constant reminder that pieces can be put together again and can be placed very beautifully in a very, very nice way. Correct? The third is the values, ethics, and the morality. We are splattered with, पहले वो सुशांत सिंह जी का केस था, and now it is Raj Kundra case that is coming up. Okay, porn movie. Oh my God, how is he making porn movies? He's not supposed to make porn movies. The morals and ethics of India is challenged. Is it? Is it? We are the land of Kam Sutra. We are the land of Khajuraho temples. How is that challenged? What he did was ethically incorrect, which means that there is an industry, there is a product, there is a consumer. He's fulfilling the needs. However, what went wrong was when the contract got over with the actors, you're still flowing the content out. That's wrong. That's a breach of contract. So it's nothing to do with the moral values or the ethic or anything else, but it has got everything to do with the ethics. The ethical sense of the business was lost. And of course, now a lot of things are coming out of it, but this is how it started. We're too good. We're too good at judging. Oh my God, he's the most desirable hunk. He's the Mr. Perfectionist. He's the king. Then we read a story. The most eligible bachelor ran a car over people sleeping on the pavement near a bakery. And oopsies, he shot a chinkara too. Was that being human? We question. Too quick to judge. Mr. Perfectionist, every 15 years, he has this in him. He keeps on changing wives. Really? Really? The king of Bollywood, oh, he's bi. Are we even supposed to do that? So what happens is when we start judging, we start putting our expectations and our projections as to how we would want to see them. Probably that's not how it is. And definitely not probably, that's not how it is. When we try to put projections on people, we try to create an imbalance. And then the expectations are ruined because something else comes over it. This also happens with us, correct? Yes or no? Can you just type there? That we put our expectations on others, our ideas of a perfect wife, perfect husband, perfect boss, perfect house help. बहुत छुट्टी लेती है, उसके घर में काम हो सकता है इसलिए उसने छुट्टी ली. So our expectations, when it goes on someone, creates a mighty huge imbalance. Like I said, we always try to live the life of someone else because we've seen success stories there. We all turn into beautiful clones. Where are you in this clone? So I don't remember, but I think it was Barbara Streisand who has beautiful dogs in Hollywood. And her dogs were aging. So she said that, let me get them cloned. And all her fraternity in Bollywood also, in Hollywood, sorry, also wanted that, they wanted to be, they wanted to have those dogs because they felt that these dogs are beautiful, beautiful dogs. So what did they do? They said, give us one of your dogs. She said, no, I'm very fond of my dogs. However, I can get them cloned for $1 million each. She got those dogs cloned. The dogs were given back. And one of her friends comes back with the cloned dog and says, this absolutely does not behave like yours. This is not behaving like yours. I don't know, Barbara, what's wrong? So she also said, I wonder what's wrong. These are clones. Has someone made a mistake? And then they realized we also are affected by our environments. If your environment is good, nurturing, even the most ferocious of breeds will behave in a very different way. So when you create clones, you're not creating something which is unique. You're creating an offshoot, maybe a little better, maybe a little less, but not an entity or an identity that can stand out for itself. I would always say, don't be a clone, be your own. You are beautiful the way you are. Don't try to modulate your life on someone. Life is beautiful. जरा नजरिया बदलिए अपना, अपने आप जिंदगी खूबसूरत हो जाती है. थोड़ा नजरिया बदलने का फर्क है. Then we keep running after 3 things in life: पैसा, power, position. In the corporate world, it happens a lot. I was one of them. Kept running after पैसा, power, position. ये बन जाऊंगी, वो बन जाऊंगी, इतना पैसा कमा लूंगी, ये हो जाएगा, इसके लिए घर ले लूंगी, उसके लिए दे दूंगी, इसको गिफ्ट दे दूंगी, इसको कर दूंगी. I was like that. And in that, in this rat race that I call, I was missing a lot. I was missing seeing what a home was. I had a beautiful house, but was it a home? I was missing the very driving thing that could actually keep me, entertained in the way that I would be hooked onto it. I started to digress a bit. I started to dissect a bit, started to delve deeper. What is it that Soumya wants? I came to realize that all I was looking out was an alignment with my passion and my purpose. I got into HR because I love people. I could have been in sales, but in HR, I get to do what I love doing, which is counseling. Now, I'm also doing my MA in psychology just to get more, structured learning. But this is my purpose. This is my passion. So if you have any queries, please do post there. I think it's there on the chat. Correct? We are very, very much clued into fast, quick, results from what we want. I've done something today, I want the result out the next moment. We often smile and laugh about, this one, I won't name the person, that there's an XYZ person in the office, quite high up in the echelon. And the way that the person functions is the moment something is said, it's like you just switch on the printer button and out comes the page. He wants results that fast. So, it so happens that life is not such. You would expect something, but it may not go the way that you expect. Who would have thought that in Uttaranchal, people who had gone in for such wonderful vacation would be under a landslide? No one thought of that, right? But it happened. Who would have thought that Germany would see one of the most devastating floods? A country which is known for its engineering couldn't stop that flood. Ironical, but it's true. It's happening. So what we also need to understand is you keep doing things and minimize your expectations, or rather I would say that don't place your expectations so far ahead that if I do this, the reaction would be this. You're expecting the reaction also as per your expectation, and that's where the problem is. Correct? Never expect a reaction as per your expectation. Sometimes it happens. No, we used to, as kids, we used to hide behind doors, and when the father used to walk in, we used to do boo. And sometimes the father would act a little startled. Then the other times when he had a bad day at work, he would be like, "Stop it." What would the child do? He would still do a boo the next day, because that reaction did not affect his purpose. The purpose was, I love to play with my father. Simple. Correct? So Chintan has written a question, how to concentrate. Correct? So Chintan, this question often comes to me, and believe you me, I was very against yoga. All right? I was someone who would be like, don't even ask me to do yoga. That's not my cup of tea. And I was a very hyperactive person. Okay. I started calming my mind down, doing some meditation. First is, like I said, go back to the 3 A's. Accept, acknowledge, advance. Jo hua, kar liya accept. हाँ हुआ, ये भी accept कर लिया, and advance कीजिए. First, calm yourself down. Then start doing some practice which is going to calm your aura also. Meditation is the best way. So how do you meditate? I would give you a simple exercise. Start by doing box breathing. Do you know what box breathing is? Anyone? Anyone here? All right, so box breathing is, you don't have to take a box and breathe inside it. Box breathing is counting. Suppose if you are inhaling, so you count, inhale, let's do this. Let's all do this, all right? So let's do a box breathing. So close your eyes, calm yourself down, and take a deep inhale. Count 1, 2, 3, 4 in your mind. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, when you are inhaling, you have to inhale to the count of 4. So your breath has to be that much longer. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath, 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue doing this within this for next 30 seconds. Continue doing this. Count in your mind. Continue doing it. If 4 counts are difficult, you can come to 3 counts. All good? Awesome. So this is box breathing, Chintan, which actually helps to calm down. And then you can then start meditating. Now this box breathing, जहाँ पर आप exhale करने के बाद stop करते हैं, when you stop your breath, neither it is going out, neither it is coming in, at that point, that very point, try to neutral your mind. Let the sounds of the birds come to you, let the sounds of the fan come to you, let the sound of the AC come to you, the dog barking, but neutral. आपका reaction आपका mind नहीं देना चाहिए कि क्यों भौंक रहा है, क्यों चल रहा है, क्यों जा रहा है, क्यों आ रहा है. ये reactions नहीं होने चाहिए. And this is your first step to calming your mind. Ashutosh is writing, ma'am, how do I use my creativity to write? I feel I can't write an essay or an article without I love your honesty, Ashutosh. You being so honest. And this is, believe me, this is with most of us. It is not, we all are not blessed with the art of writing. However, suppose you are out on your jog or you are, traveling back home and you are getting those thoughts in you. What I do is, and this is also something that I practice, this is my blue diary, and in which I always write my snippets. So this diary helps me. So whatever thoughts you have, start writing them down. Okay? वो thought तो आपके खुद के हैं, वो आपके लिए बड़े unique हैं आशुतोष. तो वो यूनिक थॉट्स को आप कैप्चर करना चालू कीजिए और उसके ऊपर आप 4 से 5 लाइंस लिखना चालू कीजिए. आप देखिए that progressively you will improve and probably people would plagiarize your content. So I guess that would work with you, Ashutosh. Is that fair, Ashutosh? Welcome. Welcome. Anyone else has any other questions?
So before we take any further questions, we'll run a poll, we'll capture the feedback, and then we'll continue taking further questions.
Sure.
So request to run the poll and request all our participants to kindly share your feedback on today's session. So while you're doing so, request all our participants to kindly post your questions in the chat window pertaining to our today's session. Once again, I thank all our participants for joining our session today. We have received a lot of inquiry about the e-certificate offered by HRAI. You can claim your e-certificate by sharing your details. When I say details, that is your name and the session attended in an email to the email ID provided in the chat window. Please ensure you share these details by the 31st of July, 2021. We will email the e-certificates to you based on details received. Yes, Ms. Sonia. So there is one question. We say that it is not that easy to let go of things, correct? So what should one do or practice in order to ensure that they don't carry that heavy load of baggage on their shoulder as they progress in their life?
Very, very important question again, Preeti. And what happens is that we are we are the prisoners of the past. We always tend to carry a lot of garbage as baggage. A simple way of knowing if a person is emotionally very burdened is कि उनके आप bags को देखिए. The more heavier the bag, the more emotionally burdened the person is. This is a psychological fact. So what we should do is that we have to come to the realization that there are things in the past that have already happened that you had no control on, that you can never go back and rectify. But what you can rectify is the future and the present. So first is acknowledge, accept, and advance. The only mantra in life is, all right, you need to say that fair enough, that happened. From my own example, Peterson, I could have chosen to be a grieving widow looking out for sympathy all my life, correct? And what I've gone through, people would have given me, a lot of sympathy, but is that what I wanted? I didn't want my identity to be created on a sympathy, but I wanted my identity to be created on something which is more valuable. And what is more valuable is me as an individual and what I can bring onto the table. So you need to let go of the past because it is behind and move forward. Fair enough? Did I answer you?
Absolutely, beautifully answered. And out of all the interactions that I've had with you, trust me, I have never realized that a person going through so much outcome and that had never showcased on your face. So a beautiful way of representing things.
Thank you.
A lot of things, a lot to learn from the entire
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have received a lot of appreciations also from our participants.
Thank you, each of you. Thank you to each one. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, any other questions?
Yeah. Nice session. Thank you. Another
important thing that I would like to say is that we tend not to love ourselves. It's a cliche thing. We all have heard this. But when we don't love ourselves, that's where we start finding faults and probably we try to project it again on someone else. Uski wajah se main aisi hu ya main aisa hu. It is because the world is not allowing me to come out of my shell. That shouldn't be the case. You are you, and you are a beautiful you. Remember, all of us are created out of love. We are a creation of love. So why don't we love ourselves? A child is a testimony of love, whether it is for animals, for us, or for anyone else. Correct? So be that wonderful you, because that's the only way you can thank the people who brought you in this world.
We have a comment from Girish. I learned somewhere about saying by Swami Vivekananda ji. If you do not speak to yourself once in a day, you miss a beautiful friend with you.
Yes, and this actually is going to be my next snippet, which is that I call it Soumya meet Soumya, because we rarely meet ourselves. Give that 1 hour to yourself wherein you just talk to yourself. It had happened to a degree that people think, is she gone cuckoo up there, because she itna kaise khud se baat kar sakti. But while you're having a dialogue with you, you're actually having a dialogue with you and the universe, and there's a connect that happens, which is so beautiful. So yes, Girish, that's wonderful.
We have a comment from Kevin who says, the session really relaxing my mind. Thank you for the session, Dr. Soumya. Go ahead. May God bless you.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I'm happy that you liked it.
Great. It was an amazing session, Dr. Soumya. Life learnings, very well explained. Be yourself, love yourself beautifully. It has been a pleasure being with you today. I'm sure our participants have had a lot to learn and take away from this session. Before we conclude with our today's session, we would also want to thank the association members, Geisha, NASSCOM COE, LinkedIn Local, Talgrow, TLE, WICCI, and GlibTalk for supporting these HRAI events. To know more about these associations, I request you to kindly visit the links provided in the chat window. Thank you once again, dear speaker and our participants, for joining us today. Do join us for our next masterclass on the topic Emotional Resilience, a session by Ms. Sonika Aron, Managing Partner, Marching Sheeps, on the 29th of July 2021. Request you to kindly register for the event and the link mentioned in the chat window. Also to join the Dialogue 2021 WhatsApp chat group through the invite link shared in the chat window. That's it from us today. See you soon. Stay safe, take care, and keep learning.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Nandan will get you the response via email to your question. Thank you, Ashutosh, for joining in. Thank you, Shyam. We hereby can conclude with our today's session.